Well, joining us via Skype from Lagos is Onyekachi Ubani. He is the immediate second vice president of the Nigeria Bar Association and former chairman NBA Ikeja branch. Thank you, Mr. Ubani, for joining us this morning on TVC Breakfast. Well, like you have heard, the INEC officials saying that inconclusive elections are not strange. They are meant to address irregularities of the process. But really, do they really address the irregularities of the process? And is it possible for us not to face issues of inconclusive elections?
Yeah, well, ordinarily, one would love a situation where elections are held and concluded at the same time and results announced. It has become some is regular now for electoral process that most times elections are declared inconclusive. And because INEC has a manual that flows from the Electoral Act, which allows them to declare an election inconclusive. What they have given is why they do that. So,
well, Ubani, we'll definitely get back to you as soon as the lines are clear. Well, joining us via Skype from Lagos is Onyekachi Ubani. He is the immediate second vice president of the Nigeria Bar Association and former chairman NBA Ikeja branch. Well, again, I will ask, the inconclusive elections are not strange. That's according to an INEC official. It is meant to address irregularities with regards to the process. But then the question is, do they really address the irregularities and do they even make the process credible?
Well, let's believe what INEC is saying, because the law itself provides for instances where you can declare an election inconclusive. They have electoral manual, and they also have the Electoral Act. The Electoral Act itself provides instances where you can, when there is instances of what you call voting, or where there are crises in certain specific areas, either in the polling unit or in a local government area, you have a right to declare an election inconclusive. And that instance is where you do that is when the marginal lead is lesser than the registered total voters in a particular environment. If the total registered voters in an environment where you have cancelled the election is more than the marginal lead, the difference between the two contending parties, INEC is allowed by law to declare an election inconclusive. Whether that particular act addresses the issue of fairness of the process, it's a different ballgame entirely.
All right, but in a situation where you have about 6 states out of 29 having an election inconclusive, does that really show that our democratic process is gaining its footing, seeing that we are celebrating 20 years of uninterrupted democracy?
The truth of the matter is that we have not made much progress in our electoral process, especially if you look at what we have had previously and what we're having this year as an election. The entire process is a bit flawed. We cannot in any way pat ourselves on the back and say we have made much progress. And that also stems from the fact that we did not in any way bring into existence some of the reforms that we have needed to have carried out in our electoral process. One of which is that we would have insisted on having the act, the particular bill that was passed, signed into law, which would have actually, brought a process a bit, fairer. But we decided to use the old system that has actually not helped us in our electoral process, in our electoral journey. If you found out from what was passed as a bill, if we had actually signed that particular bill into law, I would have thought that this election this year would have probably advanced us further, but we have not anyway advanced. Rather, we have gone backwards, as a nation. So I think we need to insist that that particular bill should be passed. And then there are more things we need to do, because I was in the field. I went home to go and, and vote. I participated in the electoral process, and I saw it firsthand that we still have a lot of work to do in our election.
All right, Mr. Ubani, we have a lot of work to do. Where would you want INEC to improve upon, seeing we have an election in 2023?
Let's make our electoral process to be electronic. Let's avoid so much human intervention in the process. This issue of ballot snatching and ballot stuffing and all that and thumb printing will stop if we gravitate towards electronics, if we do it electronically. One thing again we should guide against is this issue of desperate politicians trying to buy PVCs. I saw that they use these PVCs in the election. You know, people who were not the original owners of the PVCs were allowed to vote.
All right,
in the
Mr.
election.
Onyekachi Ubani, thank you for your time on TVC Breakfast.
Thank you.